children. You're not allowed to call yourself dwarves, apparently.
I would love to hear what should I call myself, sir?
And I saw myself on screen and I just wanted to throw up. I was so happy about it.
That, well, a lot of people wanted to throw up because they were so unhappy.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when they found out they were casting Rachel Zegler as Snow White, had a bug up their ass. Because although Rachel Zegler is quite pretty, she's kind of brown though. It's like Snow Brown, yo. For the Little Mermaid, at least they didn't say Little White Mermaid, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, it was literally like science issues. Like, yo, is under the water, can't get tans. Says, in the original film, Snow White is depicted with black bobbed hair, brown eyes, and skin white as snow. There you go. They said it. But let's see what the comments actually said about this whole thing.
Yeah.
I like the part where Snow White and her stepmother were scissoring while the 7 little people were watching. Very powerful. Considering who is Snow White and who is the evil queen, I wouldn't mind seeing that little scissor combo. Now the evil queen don't need to kill Snow White because she's more beautiful than her. Damn. Gal Gadot's pretty hot, yo. She's pretty cool. Gal Gadot, Gal Gadot, Gal 2 dots. Love the part when Snow, almost white, screams, I don't need no stinking man. You go, girl. See, she's close. But what does it mean to be white, really? Because after seeing this video, I actually had to rethink my whole idea on skin color, dog.
Look at this. Look at this. Is this white?
We're talking about.
Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Is this white?
We're talking about skin color.
I don't care. Tell me your question. Is it white?
Is white.
No, it's not. This is
Not
white.
that white. That's an object. We're talking about skin color.
This is the same color.
Oh, she about to ratio him, dog.
This is the option.
So what you think you
pick
are? What color are you?
one. I'm peach.
She's smart, yo.
And the best part was the kid is like, bro.
I'm peach.
Bro.
When the older brother is calling his little sister bro, you know my man ain't got his facts right. You know, when it comes to this, Rachel Zegler ain't really that dark. She's like if Snow White left the woods and went to the beach.
Snow White 只是太久没有出去晒太阳而已，要睡很久。
对呀 All I'm saying is, can a bitch go on vacation sometimes? Like, so, 按照那个 little girl 的顺序, I think the casting of her as Snow White isn't really that bad.
Yeah.
So, at this point, I was like, okay, it's cool, but then she opened her mouth.
You mentioned that this Snow White is going to have like a modern edge to her. Can you like elaborate on that? Tell us how she's going to sort of depart from what we've seen before.
Of course. Well, I mean, in 1937, the cartoon was so focused on her finding true love, and it's really not even in her mind at all in this film. Like, she's so focused on becoming the leader that her father tells her that she can be, and she's really trying.
I don't think they mentioned her father.
The father 不是很早就挂掉了
I
吗？
don't think the father ever said you could be a leader. I don't think so. I think he just said beware of old bitches in the wood trying to give you an apple, dog.
To find the courage to stand up to the evil queen, and how to find her own agency and rule a kingdom. And she meets so many incredible people along the way. And maybe she finds love, maybe she finds friendship, but really what's important is that she finds her own voice.
Okay, so you have to understand the woke keywords. Having her own agency. Agency means you have free will to do what you want without the direction of a man. So for me, this shit is woke, feminist, 超级女权 bullshit. And here's the thing, as homegirl's on her little woke tangent right here, you see how Gal Gadot is like not even paying attention?
To find the courage to stand up
He's
to
like,
the evil
"Haja
queen,
mama, haja
and how to
mama."
find her own agency and rule a kingdom. And
Look, she's looking
she
at
meets so
somebody
many incredible
else.
people along the way. And maybe she finds love, maybe she finds
她是
that
假装没有认
she
真
finds her own voice.
She turns back. As soon as she finishes, she turns back to the camera like, okay, 换我了.
换我了。
Yeah. So it seems like Snow White, you off to a bad start. So you almost white and you definitely woke.
Hey, it's opposite of the original story.
Complete. Yeah, 100%.
Snow White 刚好 sleeping，他不会 walk 啊。
Get your ass to sleep, girl. Catch them Z's. You got too much sunlight. That's your problem. So this went down about what, like 10 months ago, almost a year ago, right? But then just a couple of weeks ago, they dropped this photo.
Yeah.
So I see only one dwarf. It looks like he only has one arm, actually.
Oh, really?
Looks like it. And you've got a black woman, a black dude with fucked up teeth, a tall white dude who looks like Jesus if he didn't shave.
I guarantee one of them is transgender.
Maybe, but
但
that
才够 walk 啊。
Jesus super woke.
Yeah.
So the original story, Disney's first ever cartoon, was called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
What I see here is Snow White and the Seven Wokies, dog. So as you know, most dwarves in Hollywood have very little opportunities because Lord of the Rings is already done. What else you got? Star Wars doesn't really show Ewoks anymore.
Yeah.
So they really don't have that many opportunities. And this is a huge movie, a huge property, and you cut their opportunities down by 6, yo. I see only one person who qualifies as a dwarf.
Yeah.
Right? And as a result, a lot of dwarf actors were pissed.
They all had 7 different characteristics for 7 different actors that from my community, and I don't feel it's right that got taken
I
away
completely
from us.
and utterly agree with you. And the
I agree too.
irony is that they profess, these progressives, to want to do this to protect you. Right? They protect dwarf actors from being somehow smeared, but you don't feel that way at all.
Peter Dinklage spoke up about this, and that was my issue
He
had in the past.
Like Peter Dinklage, the dude from Game of Thrones, he actually said,
you're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man? Have I done nothing to advance the cause?
他完全反对，他说因为这个对我来说是我们的 community 让我们看起来很烂啊。
为什么？为什么会看很烂？
因为 Snow White 之前他们的 portrayal of dwarves，他就批评说你 portray little people as like just a retarded, goofy, like it's cartoonish. But the thing is, it's a cartoon, dog.
But the 7 dwarf 他们没有很 stupid 啊。
His whole thing is like you portray us people as idiots, and this guy's saying that their own unique characteristics, and they actually help Snow White to fuck the queen up, dog. So 他们的角色其实蛮重要。
He had in the past no issue cashing checks that were made for dwarf roles like Elf and all of that. Yes, he blew away the barriers when he did his roles that weren't necessarily made for a dwarf. But the Elf role was made.
Yeah, one of his most famous roles were the dwarf roles, though. I see the point is like, yeah, Peter Dinklage did kind of break the barrier. Game of Thrones was like, holy shit, like dwarfs can be more than just goofy dudes, right? But the thing is the character he played was meant to be a dwarf. And the other characters he played were only people like him could play.
For a dwarf. That check cleared just fine. So now that he's gone and done that, the progression of dwarf actors, it doesn't sit right with me. That this guy who is exactly what you said,
Look at him. Look at the dude on the right. He's like, I've got something to say.
When Piers Morgan is agreeing with you, I think you need to be concerned. I'll say that.
So you're telling the dwarf actor what he should feel. Having literally just lectured me about speaking for someone in the dwarf community, Warwick Davis, you now accuse a dwarf actor.
No, it's not what I said. I said that if you're siding with anyone, you've got to worry. Right. What I'd like to say actually is that I kind of mostly agree with what you're saying.
And now sir, that's just taking a pot shot there.
So the dwarf is calling him out. Now he realized, oh shit, I need to stay on the woke talking point.
I do agree with what you're saying. I completely agree with your point of view, and I think that's really important. But I can only speak from my experience, and as a gay man, I know that growing up, I witnessed gay people being villains in movies.
What do gay people have to do with dwarves, dog? Bring it back to yourself. As a gay man, we're talking about dwarves.
7 dwarves aren't villains.
And that I think stereotypes are really important to
What stereotype do you think they represent?
This isn't a part of this about the stereotype.
Right.
This is about roles that were made for people of my stature that don't have the chance to go out for other roles.
But you, James,
so
you want to stop Dylan getting a role in a Hollywood film.
I am not going to get into an attack on a dwarf.
You don't want a dwarf actor to land a role playing a dwarf part.
Listen, a dwarf can play a dwarf part, but I think it's important to change narratives that don't fit in today's society. And
What
really,
narrative? He's saying a dwarf can play those roles, but it might be better to change the story and their roles to fit a narrative. What narrative are you talking about?
我觉得这个 gay dude 还蛮歧视
Super 歧视
因为我根本不会觉得 dwarf 有什么 narrative 不好的啊
He's trying to say that, hey, for them to take all the dwarves out and switch them to regular sized people, that is somehow furthering a better narrative.
What?
In normal roles everywhere because they do exist.
What was so bad about the way dwarves are depicted in Snow White? Have I missed something?
Well, listen, I'm not here to talk about...
That's what I'm kind of wondering as well.
I don't represent Disney, but I'm just saying I think I see their point of view.
What's their point of view? What was so bad about the depiction of the dwarves?
Why are you so upset about a movie changing with the times and moving...
Oh, here we go. This one. We know this shit, right? Yeah. Whenever they're backed into a corner, what do they usually say? Why do you care so much? Right? Yeah. The ass dude, they said, hey, you say the depiction of dwarves was bad. Tell me where it's bad. And instead of answering the question, he goes to that default, why do you care so much, man? fucking predictable as fuck.
There is real news we could be discussing.
No, but this is real news if you're a dwarf actor who are now out of work because of virtue signaling idiots.
But you're just
who
using
think that
this-
everything has to be rewritten
You are just
to be
using Dylan
inclusive,
as a cheap
when in
shot.
fact it's not inclusive at all.
No, you're using Dylan as a cheap shot to attack a Wokey. That's
I don't think
happening.
Dylan feels I'm using
Man, they
him
use
as a cheap
Wokey.
shot.
Yeah,
What I'll
you're
say
like
about the
Wokey,
Wokey
yeah.
thing is this. I have spent the last year listening to people tell me only gay actors should play gay parts, and so on and so on and so on.
Conversations are nuanced.
But the moment we have dwarf roles, which are the most famous dwarf roles in Hollywood history,
Yeah.
then the only people apparently who can't play them are dwarf actors.
weren't dwarf
and I
roles.
see there
It's a cartoon
stinking
here.
woke
So let me-
hypocrisy.
It has not changed. It was a cartoon. Those weren't actually dwarfs in the movie. They were drawn, okay? So
Well, Snow White was a cartoon too. That's why it's called the live action remake, motherfucker.
firstly,
They were
that's
drawn as
absolute-
dwarfs.
No, that is
But it's a
literally-
story
They're
about
called
dwarves. sir.
dwarfs.
Well, they
It's a
shouldn't be
story
called that.
about
They should be
dwarves.
called...
They shouldn't be called dwarfs.
No, they should be called people with
They shouldn't be
dwarfism.
called.
What's wrong with being
They shouldn't
called
be called
dwarves?
Nothing,
dwarves.
but that's not the
That's the
correct
story.
term.
Dylan,
The story
apparently
is
you
literally
you're not
Snow
allowed
White
to
and
call
the
yourself
Seven
Dylan
Dwarfs.
call himself...
He said they shouldn't be called dwarves. They should be called people with dwarfism.
What the fuck is dwarfism?
From now on, you cannot call me black. I am a person with blackism.
那我是 banana 的神哦。
They shouldn't be called dwarfs.
No, they should be called people with
They shouldn't be
dwarfism.
called.
What's wrong with
they
being
shouldn't
called
be
dwarves?
called dwarves.
Nothing, but that's not the correct
That's the
term.
story.
Dylan,
the story
apparently
is
you
literally
shouldn't, you're not
Snow
allowed
White
to
and
call
the
yourself
Seven
Dylan can call
Dwarfs.
himself whatever.
Apparently, Dylan, you're not allowed to call yourself dwarfs, apparently.
I would love to hear what should I call myself, sir?
I think you should call yourself whatever you feel comfortable with.
Dwarf one how? He literally threw his hands up like, what the fuck?